Today I'll just be going through the basics of VBA in Microsoft Excel. So yeah, let's get started. To get started, you have to make sure your Excel has um, the developer enabled. So that was under File, Options, Customize ribbon, and making sure developer is ticked. Click OK. And yeah, so normally in Excel, you would do basic arithmetic like add addition. So you can go A1 cell and A2 cell, and then by simply dragging and clicking auto sum, which is the inbuilt Excel function, you get your summation of the two cells and the formula automated. Um, but VBA is much more powerful. So an example of replicating this is using VBA. So you can access VBA by pressing Alt and F11. This is the shortcut to access VBA. And under VBA, so to sort of get started on VBA, you go subroutine, and do call it add, and once you press enter, it automatically outputs the end subroutine to sort of finish up with that declaration. And normally what I like to do when I start the coding process is to create a comment and call it declaration. And under declaration, I will have my declare variable. So for example here, it would be dim. I'll call it I as integer. So here, I know that I is an variable known as it's a type integer. And just as a reminder, for like reusing this code or updating the code in future, I like to put comments to describe what that I is. So in this case, I variable I is used for addition for today's tutorial, and then I will have, let's say, another variable called dimj as integer, and here I'll also describe what that variable does. So it's also used for addition, and then what I like to do also is to have visibility on what I'm trying to achieve. So I would minimize that window, and in this case, so to run through the sort of the basic function, like doing what the Excel was doing with the AutoSum, I can do that from VBA. So without using the I and J for a start, let's say I want to output to A6 cell, I can just go range. So here the syntax is to use range, and then I'll go A6 equal to range, or you can use cells as well, and which uses a different way of getting that information from Excel. So you can go index 1, row 1, column 1, plus cells, row 1, row 2, column 1. And that will output to A6, but this is using the VBA, and then just press play. So that would then give you 3 and A6, like so. So how we will use the declared variables like I and J is like so. So if we go range A1 equals to, oh sorry, so you want to, so how the coding works is when you want to input something into a variable, you put it on the left hand side of the equation. So in this case I put I on the left and then I put the value that's currently in the Excel sheet on the right, so that this value is stored in I. And then next I can go j equals to range A2. So this way, A1 is stored in I and A2 is stored in J. And then so here's a quick trick, is to comment it out. If you don't want to if you don't want the software to execute certain line of code, you can comment it out. So that's very handy. So here what the code will do is it will declare I and J, and then next line you go to A1 stored in I and then A2 stored in J, and then let's say I want to output these to A8, then I can go range A8 equals to I plus J, and then this way it will still do the same thing. Value is 3, but it's output to A8 on that sheet, and so as shown. Then what you can do also is, if you don't want to output anything to the sheet yet, what you can do is you can, there's two ways to sort of see the values or the output before putting it onto the sheet. So for example, you can go Debug.Print, and you can go equal to I plus J. I plus J. This way, if I comment that out, then I can see that it's shown in the immediate value, in the immediate window. So you can see this window by going to View and click on Immediate Video, Immediate Window, and you can see your output straight away. But it doesn't affect the main sheet because it's not sort of using range to sort of display on that main page. The other way is to use Msgbox. So you can go Msgbox I plus J, and this way you can see that the value is 3, and click OK. It goes back to the code. So what's happening is you use the inbuilt function Msgbox to get that result from the additions of I and J variable. So yeah, so that's basically the first run of the VBA of using basic arithmetic. Following videos I'll go through basic functions like for loops, if statements, as well as do while loops, and also switch cases, and after that we'll go through some arrays and dynamic arrays, where you can work with different ways to do your automation with VBA. So yeah, thanks. See you next time.